children, welcome to science class. In previous classes we learned so many topics, right? So today's class also we are going to learn a new topic. Before going into the topic, say some names of clothes which you wear in a occasional time or general. What type of clothes you wear? For example, if you are going to attend a party, what type of clothes you prefer? Cotton clothes? No, you select silk clothes, right? Or which are having more lustrous or more brightful. Such kind of clothes you will choose. And you are at home or you are about to sleep. What type of clothes you will wear? Any special wear? Special dresses will you wear? No, a common suit like night dress which are made up of cotton, right? So we wear or we prefer different kinds of clothes to wear. Occasionally we wear different types of clothes, and for general wear, a common wear, we wear different types of clothes. Whatever, we may consider that we have different kinds of materials, right? Different kinds of dresses, saris, dupattas, all these things we have. And in these also made up of different types of threads. We call them as fibers. What do we call them? Fibers. What is that? Fiber. Okay. And in this fiber also, we have so many kinds of fibers. In that, natural fibers are there, artificial fibers are there. How many kinds are there? Natural fibers and artificial fibers. Artificial fibers. Okay. Can you name some natural fibers? Natural, which are occurring in nature. What are the natural fibers? Immediately you remember about cotton, right? Cotton we get from cotton plant. Next, silk. We learned in previous classes. You can say silk. Silk cloth or silk fiber we get from silk moth. Right? So these are natural fibers. Along with them, jute also there. Jute. This is also from plants. Okay? These are natural fibers. These are natural fibers. And we have some artificial fibers also. First we will learn about natural fibers. After doing some experiments, then we will enter into the artificial fibers. As we knew about natural fibers, in this lesson we are going to learn about artificial fibers, which are also called as synthetic fibers. What are they? Synthetic fibers, and also about plastics. Look here, fiber spelling F-I-B-R-E. You can also write F-I-B-E-R. Okay, Nana? So let us learn synthetic fibers and plastics. Look here we have different types of clothes. In lower classes, we have studied that clothes which we wear are made of fabrics, right? So these fabrics are made from fibers obtained from natural or artificial sources. Are all variety fabrics in our daily life made of natural fibers? Can you name some natural fibers? Let us find out the answers to such questions in this lesson. How a fabric come out? See, fiber after spinning or spun, it makes as yarn and it will be woven. Then it makes as fabric. So what is fabric? Fabric is a cloth material made of weaving or knitting threads together. In previous classes, as we learned that fiber is a thread which can be spun into strings, rope and clothes. They are collected from cotton plant and from wool also. So all natural fibers are used for making fabrics, which are further used for making clothes, are the most important need for human beings. See, there also can be made as ropes, fishing nets, carpets, sails. However, the demand for the fibers and fabrics increases in such a way that the natural fibers are not sufficient to fulfill the demand. So for that purpose, artificial fibers are invented. To overcome that problem, scientists have developed artificial fibers using petroleum products and coal as raw materials. So these artificial fibers are commonly called synthetic fibers or man-made fibers. Synthetic fibers or man-made fibers. What is the structure of a synthetic fiber? Let us see. For that, to understand well, take some paper clips. Join them together and observe the pattern of paper clips. Like that you have to join. See. Similarly, take a few beads. Join them together with the help of thread and needle to make a necklace. Join them. Now observe the pattern of beads and the pattern of paper clips. In both cases, they form a long chain from simple things such as bead or a paper clip. Here, each bead or paper clip has a separate unit, but when many such units are together, they made a chain, right? Similarly, synthetic fibers have a chain-like structure. Synthetic fibers have a chain-like structure formed by joining small units together. Each small unit in the chain is known as monomer. What do we call that? Monomer. So it is a Greek word. Mono means one. Mer means unit. Mono means one. Mer means unit. So many small identical simple units, monomers, combine to form a large unit. Yes or no? So that is called polymer. What is that, ma'am? Polymer. Poly means many. Mer means unit. So many units together. Polymer means many units are together. Hence we can say that the synthetic fibers are made of very large units. Large number of units. Okay, these are all made from petrochemicals. Unlike natural fibers, synthetic fibers are made from petroleum-based chemicals or petrochemicals. Petrochemicals are subject to various chemical processes to obtain synthetic fibers. That's why they are called synthetic fibers. These synthetic fibers are undergo many different manufacturings. So they are named as nylon, rayon, acrylic, polyester. What are they? These fibers cannot be identified by simple visual inspection alone in the absence of brand label. When we purchase any clothes or dresses, if you want to know the fabric type, we have to check the label. If there is no label, we can't guess. So how to know that? With this test we can identify. See, the test is called burning test to identify the fibers. Take a piece of cloth and pull out their yarn. Pull out its yarn by using tweezers. It is called tweezer. Okay. Hold the yarn and test on the flame of a candle. Burn the thread on the edge of a flame. Suppose the thread catches fire easily and burns with a bright yellow flame, then it is said to be cotton or rayon. See, it is catching light. So that is cotton or rayon. Similarly, if the threads does not catch fire easily and smells like burning hair, then the fiber is said to be silk or wool. If it gets hairy smell, burning hair smell, that is silk or wool. Likewise, if the thread melts in the flame, then it is said to be synthetic fiber such as nylon or acrylic. See, when you burn some fibers, they melt. So they are synthetic fibers. You can test it. Okay, in the same way, if the thread shrinks in the flame and forms a black colored bead, that cannot be crushed. It is a synthetic fiber such as polyester. So you have to do like this. Sample of fiber when burnt. Sample fiber First one, cotton and rayon. When burnt, catches fire easily. If it is a cotton and rayon, it catches fire easily. And changes we observe, it burns with a bright yellow flame and results ash. What remains? Ash. And silk and wool. In this case, it doesn't catch fire easily. It doesn't catch fire easily and does not burn with a bright yellow flame. They don't burn with a bright yellow flame. And black crushable bed. Black crushable bed. Next, nylon and acrylic. Nylon and acrylic fibers, they melt in the flame. They melt in the flame and fiber shrinks from the flame. Fiber shrinks from the flame. And black crushable bed that can't be crushed. Crushable bed, it will be remain but it cannot be crushed. Next, polyester. It burns slowly and melts when burning. It also catches fire but it burns with the fire and shrinks from the flame. Shrinks from the flame. And black crushable bed that can't be crushed. Same as nylon and acrylic. So these are synthetic fibers. Children, you also collect some threads and do this burning test. Okay. So carefully do while you are doing this. Do it in your parents' observation and do it carefully. Don't peel out all the useful clothes. Just collect from unnecessary clothes. Okay, Nana? Test it and try. We learnt about cotton, wool, silk in previous classes. So we are going to learn about synthetic fibers. That is, first one, nylon. Nylon. New York plus London. See, it is invented New York. From New York, NY, and from London, LON. Did you understand? NY from New York and from London, LON. So, it was given name like that from nylon. That is New York plus London. So, there are various nylons such as nylon 6, nylon 66. And it was the first commercially synthesized fiber. What is the first commercially synthesized fiber? Nylon. Okay, the production of nylon was started simultaneously in New York and London, so that it got the name from NY to NY as from New York and LON for London. Okay, on basing that it was given name as nylon. And it was the first fiber which is not collecting anything from the nature. So there are many kinds of nylons. Nylon 66, nylon 6. And how to prepare this? The preparation of nylon depends on, as I said to you, from the petrochemicals. They are like coal, water and air. Coal is a petrochemical product. So it is made up of coal, water and air. It was more popular during the Second World War. The nylon fiber is a polymer made of chemical units called polyamides. So the polyamide is a chemical unit made of two monomers called hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. Hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. Solid chips of these polyamides are melted and forced through a heated spinneret, which has very tiny holes. So the size and shape of the holes change the characteristics of a resulting fiber. That fiber solidifies as it cools and can be spun or woven. What are the two monomers? Hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. Okay, nylon fiber is strong, elastic and light in weight also. So it is popular for making clothes. What are the properties of nylon? It is a strong and elastic material. So it is suitable for tracksuits, combat uniforms and parachutes. And it dries quickly and absorbs very little water, hence suitable for making swimwear also. And it has high strength. Owing to this reason, it is used to make climbing ropes. And it is a durable and lightweight material, and therefore it is used for making small machine parts and fishing nets also. and it is not attacked by moths and molds. So that is also a benefit, and it has static electric property. That is why when we should not wear in the time of cooking. In the time of cooking we should not wear nylon clothes. Let's see the uses of nylon. Fishing nets, tire cords, car seat belts, toothbrush bristles also for making parachutes, and saris, shirts, neckties and socks. These also can be made from nylon. Another uses of nylon, it is also used in the making of swimsuits, sheer hosiery, sails, umbrella cloth, car seats, sleeping bags, etc. So many uses are there from nylon, right? Nowadays it is also used as an alternative in the place of wool in the making of carpets. So as I told you, nylon catches fire very easily. For this reason we should not wear nylon clothes while cooking, and who are working at fires, while burning crackers and at welding works. So whoever working nearby fire, we should not use this one. Okay. Next, let us check the strength of a nylon fiber. Strength of a nylon fiber. For that we have to do an activity. Take an iron stand with a clamp and place it on the table. Now take 4 threads of different fibers such as cotton, wool, nylon and silk. Make sure that all threads should be of the same length and same size. Tie one end of a cotton thread with the clamp of iron stand in such a way that the cotton thread hangs freely from the clamp. Now fix a weight hanger to the free end of the cotton thread. Leave the hanger. The thread gets suspended in a vertical position. Add small weights to the hanger and observe the thread. Keep increasing the weights one by one. Check the thread. What happens? After bearing some weights, it will be broken. So repeat the same process with the remaining threads also, like nylon, cotton and wool. Silk and wool. How many weights each and every thread is borne? That you have to note down. How many weights the silk is borne? That means it is able to bear. And what is the ability of cotton? That means how many weights the cotton thread is able to hold. So how many weights the woolen thread able to hold, and how many weights the nylon thread able to hold, that you have to record. We observed here the total weight required to break the thread was maximum in nylon, followed by silk, wool and cotton, right? Wool 2 weights, for cotton 1, for wool 2, for silk, if you observe, it holds 3, finally nylon, so which is having more strength? Obviously nylon. The maximum tensile strength, followed by natural silk. We knew that it is made from silkworms, and which is observed in China first. So artificial silk is rayon. Artificial silk. What is the alternate for natural silk? That is rayon. So we know about natural silk. Natural silk is obtained from silkworms. This discovery of silk was kept a closely guarded secret for a long time. China doesn't reveal anything easily. So for this reason, the fabrics made from silk were very expensive. Sir, no, silk clothes are very expensive, right? But the beautiful texture of silk has fascinated everybody, but the production and maintenance of silk is very difficult. Everybody wants silk, but it is very hard to produce more. To overcome these problems, scientists attempted to make artificial silk, and they were successful in obtaining a fiber having properties similar like silk. This is artificial silk. The first commercial production of artificial silk was achieved in USA, in America, in 1911. But this fiber was named rayon only in 1924. The first rayon factory in India was established in Kerala in 1946. Here, the raw material for the production of rayon is pure cotton or wood pulp. It is the only synthetic fiber obtained from plants. Cellulose. Do you know cellulose in plants? And so it is called cellulose fiber. Sometimes it is also regenerated fiber because it is produced by modifying natural fiber. It is produced by modifying natural fiber. See, wood or bamboo pulp, from that cellulose, from that sodium hydroxide solution. They are adding step by step. Okay, from wood or bamboo pulp they are collecting cellulose. With that, sodium hydroxide solution is added and carbon disulfide is added. Later it gets viscose. A fluid like which is having more viscosity it forms. Later it will be sent through the spinnerets and there it is added dilute sulfuric acid. Then silk threads are formed or rayon. The silk threads will come out. We call that as rayon. Okay. So cellulose dissolves completely in chemical in sodium hydroxide solution. After dissolving it, then carbon disulfide is added for that. And cellulose dissolves completely in that chemicals and added to it and gives a yellow colored syrup like liquid. That liquid or fluid is called as viscose. Okay, this is forcefully sent through the spinnerets. Spinnerets means the fine holes. It has a fine holes, small holes. As a result, silk-like threads are formed. So, the formed threads are cleaned with soap and dried. This new fiber is called rayon, which is an artificial silk. Okay, some kinds of rayons are made from the short cotton fibers left on cotton seeds after ginning. And rayon is cheaper than silk and can be woven like silk fiber. It can also be dyed in a wide variety of colors. In all colors we can get like silk as well as silk. But it's not the perfect fiber to prepare all fabrics because it is made from plant cellulose. It is made up of plant cellulose. Let's see rayon properties. Rayon is highly absorbent and it is therefore used to make gauzes for covering wounds. It is soft, comfortable and absorbent like cotton and has the shine of silk. These properties make it a good fabric for clothing. It drapes like silk and much cheaper, hence a good fashion fabric at much lesser cost. It is strong fiber and therefore it is used to make automobile tire cords. It burns at high temperature and does not melt easily. It absorbs water easily, which makes rayon weak and causes the fiber to break. Otherwise, it cannot break. It cannot be broken. Let's see the uses of rayon. Rayon is mixture of cotton and wool or cotton or wool. It gives suitable for our needs. Okay, it can be mixed with cotton or wool, which makes more comfortable for our needs. On mixing it with cotton, rayon plus cotton, it is used to make good dress materials, aprons, bed sheets and caps. On mixing with the wool, it serves as a good fiber for making carpets. Rayon is also found in sanitary products like diapers and bandages and lints for dressing wounds. So no. Next one, acrylic, artificial wool. Artificial silk over, now artificial wool. Generally we wear woolen clothes in winter season, right? Like sweaters, mufflers, shawls, blankets. Yes or no? So these are from prepared from wool. These are prepared from another type of synthetic fiber called acrylic, and it became commercially available in 1941. Acrylic fabric looks like a natural wool, but it is not artificial. It is an artificial wool. It is not wool. That's why it is also called as fake fur. What is that called? Fur means wool, but it's called fake fur. That means not original wool. And it is made from coal plus water plus air plus oil and limestone. So what are the preparatives? Acrylic. For acrylic, coal, water, air, oil and limestone. Acrylic is also another processed synthetic fiber. Okay, they are made up of that things, and in dry spinning system the polymers are dissolved in a suitable solvent such as dimethyl formaldehyde and extruded into warm air, and then the fibers are solidified by evaporation of the solvent. So this is the process it undergoes. In the wet spinning system, the polymer is dissolved in a solvent extruded into path. The acrylic fiber made from artificial sources is less expensive, whereas clothes made from natural resources are expensive. So the clothes made from this fiber are relatively cheap and are available in a variety of colors. It closely resembles wool in its properties. It looks like wool, but it's not a wool. Some of the well-known acrylic fibers are Orlan, Acrylon and Cashmelon. These are acrylic fiber names. See the properties of acrylic. Acrylic clothes or acrylic fibers are washable and shrink proof. They won't shrink easily like wool. They are quite resistant to the action of chemicals and also resistant to the attack of moths and other insects. And these are the things can be prepared from acrylic. These fibers are used for making fleece, socks, sportswear, sweaters, shawls and blankets, all these things. It is also used in craft yarns, upholstery fabric, carpets, luggage, awnings and vehicle covers also. So many useful things are there from acrylic. Next fiber is polyester. What is that, ma? Polyesters. Polyester is another synthetic fiber which is made up of the repeating units of polymers of esters. That's why polyester. Okay. Esters are the chemicals which give fruits their smell. What type of smell? Fruit smell. And for examples of polyester, terylene, decaron and terene. These are the examples of polyesters. Okay. Polyester is another synthetic fiber, and terylene can be drawn into very fine fabric. It can be drawn into very fine fabric so that it can be woven like any other fiber. And terylene is often mixed with cotton to make terrycot and with wool to give terry wool. Okay. The preparation of polyester. See how are they adding with preparation. Polyester is produced by reacting terephthalic acid with dimethyl ether and then with dihydric alcohol. Dimethyl ether plus dihydric alcohol. And the fibers are melted and spun by a process very similar to the one which is used to make nylon. This property allows the fiber to be converted into different shapes and sizes. So we can get whatever shapes and sizes we require. And the polyester fibers are hot drawn to improve strength, stress, strain properties also. Since polyester is melt spun, it retains the shape of the spinneret hole. Whatever the spinneret hole is there, like that it can be sent. This property allows the fiber to be converted into different shapes and sizes. That is the specialty of polyester. And polyester fibers of these days are ultra thin microfibers which give them a smoother, softer finishing. And fabrics are sold in the market by the names like polycot, polywool, terrycot, etc. As the name suggests, these are made by mixing of two types of fibers. By seeing that we can understand. So polycot is a mixture of polyester and cotton. Polywool means polyester and wool. So like that. And PET, polyethylene terephthalate. It is a very familiar form of polyester. Let's see the properties of polyester. It is strong and wrinkle resistant. It doesn't get wrinkles easily, and it is lightweight, unaffected by water, and resistant to sea salts also. That's why whenever we go to beach, we should wear polyester clothes because the sand falls easily. So it is used to make sails of ships, and it is resistant to stretching and shrinking, hence good for making curtains and draperies also. And it absorbs very little water, so cloths dry out quickly even in winter. It is not so elastic and is therefore unsuitable for stockings. For stockings we cannot use. It's quite resistant to the action of chemicals also. Uses of polyester. The base material of polyester can be used to make not just fibers for fabric but many other things, like for making fabrics for suits, jackets, shirts, trousers, saris and other dress materials. It is also used for making sails. PET, I said no, polyethylene terephthalate. It is used for making bottles, plastic bottles and other utensils, films, wires and many other useful things. Mixing of fibers we learnt already. So in that, the process of combining different fibers into a single fabric is called blending. The process of combining different fibers into a single fabric, it is called blending. So this process, it is used for obtaining better result fiber, to obtain better resulting fabric. Okay, it improves the quality of blended fabric to provide desirable characteristics, but long fibers cannot be used in that process, so they are being cut into smaller staple fibers, and only after that they are blended into fabric. Okay, long fibers cannot be added, they will be stapled, then it will be added into that process. This process is called blending. When a fiber is combined with other fibers, certain qualities of first fiber are combined with the qualities of the second fiber, and it gives a better fabric in the blended fabric. So fiber X properties plus fiber Y properties will be in the blended fabric. Okay. Next, what is the characteristic of a polyester? For example, polyester is the most blended manufactured fiber. So polyester fiber is strong, resists shrinkage, stretching, wrinkles, and can be washed easily. Okay, abrasion resistant and can be easily washed. Uses of blending. Blends of 50% to 65%. Polyester with cotton provide a minimum care fabric used in a variety of shirts, slacks, dresses, blouses, sportswear and many home fashion items. A 50% polyester and 50% acrylic blends is used for slacks, sportswear and dresses. And blends of polyester 45% to 55% and worsted wool create a fabric which retains the beautiful drape and feel of 100% wool, while the polyester adds durability and the resistance to the wrinkle. So it supports durability as a polyester, and it gives feeling like a wool because it's the mixing of polyester and wool. Did you understand? So the greater the percentage of natural fiber in blending of fibers, the higher would be comfort to the skin. When natural fibers contribute a fabric, it allows the skin to breathe easily. Also, natural fibers are generally free from irritating chemicals. As to get the durability and long sustainability, we are using blending, but mostly natural fibers gives our skin without irritation. They comfort our skin. So in this blending process, if the percentage of natural fiber increases, then the comfort will be increased. Okay, Nana? These are the comforts of blending, uses of the blending. Once again listen to this video and also read your textbook part, then you will understand more. Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching.